Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's devotion for June 5th. Today's devotion is titled Useful Temptation, and the Bible reading is from James chapter 1, verses 2 to 5 and 12 to 21. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. Don't be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. He chose to give us birth through the word of truth, that we might be a kind of first fruits of all he created. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you. '15th-century monk Thomas A. Kempis, in the beloved classic The Imitation of Christ, offers a perspective on temptation that might be a bit surprising. Instead of focusing on the pain and difficulties temptation can lead to, he writes, temptations are useful because they can make us humble. They can cleanse us, and they can teach us. Kempis explains, the key to victory is true humility and patience. In them, we overcome the enemy. Humility and patience. How different my walk with Christ would be if that were how I naturally responded to temptation. More often, I react with shame, frustration, and impatient attempts to get rid of the struggle. But as we learn from James chapter 1, the temptations and trials we face don't have to be without purpose or merely a threat we endure. Although giving in to temptation can bring heartbreak and devastation, when we turn to God with humble hearts, seeking his wisdom and grace, we find he gives generously to all without finding fault. Through his power in us, our trials and struggles to resist sin build perseverance, so that we may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. As we trust in Jesus, there's no reason to live in fear. As God's dearly loved children, we can find peace as we rest in his loving arms, even as we face temptation. How might an attitude of humility and patience change how you respond to a current temptation or struggle? How is it freeing? Thank you for joining me for today's devotion, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.